Okay, so I'm going to do a tutorial on the nails that I did last night. It's basically just a French manicure lined with beads. Now, I get these beads at the dollar store. There's 6 of them in a package. They had 2 different colors, or 2 different sets. Pinks and purple, green, blah blah blah. So for this, I used silver ones. Now, these ones kind of gave it a, as my sister put it, like a bridal feeling, and I have to agree. So I would next time I think I'll probably use one of the other colors, but since I already have 4 of my fingers done with the silver, I'll just stick with that. So you'll want some, like I said, some type of bead or even little rhinestones or whatever you want to use. You'll need polish remover, base coat, top coat, the white stuff to do the tips, and some tip guides. These came with this. These are at the dollar store, obviously, for $2, and you get 3 different colors, and you get these tip guides. The ones that you can see back there, they're like the pointed guides. And you'll want something to clean around your nail with if you're messy like I am. And that's it. So let's get started. So what you want to do is take one of your tip guides and place it on your nail along where your tip is, just under your tip. Now this works even if you have short nails. Just take it down a little bit so it'll give you at least enough to paint, and it will actually make your nails look a little bit longer. Mine are pretty long already, except for this one that I broke. So like that, take your white polish, and what I do is I hold it upside down and I roll it in my hands instead of shaking it. This helps prevent bubbles. Shake that for a few seconds. Open it up. Up down one side and paint the tip of your nail. And it doesn't matter if you get the paint on the tip guide, since it would be coming off anyways. Make sure you get right in the corners. Now this white is not very opaque, it's actually fairly translucent, so I normally end up having to put a second coat on. So that's drying, and we'll move on to the next nail. Now I find these tip guides are a little bit too sticky and they leave a little bit of residue on my nail, so I usually end up having to take that off with remover. It does remove some of my base coat, but since I'm actually only painting the tip, I really don't care. So you want to take these, this, place it in the middle of your nail. And that is not in the middle. It's kind of awkward with really long nails. There we go. And just push it down. Alright, so I'm going to finish the rest of these and wait for it to dry, and I will come back and show you how to do the beads. Okay, so now that that's dried, I'm going to remove the strips very slowly. It's not to disturb the polish too much. You basically get a seamless line every time if you wait for it to dry completely. I completely made a mess of this because it's too short, but it's okay. I can always clean it up. Don't worry about any little bumps or ridges, you can fix those. So there's that. No, I'm not going to bother fixing these. I'm just going to move on to the beads since my other thumb is already dry because I didn't bother to do that last night. So, what you want to do for the beads, you'll need a toothpick or something else with a small edge that you can use. And I take my clear stuff, and I just do a few beads at a time, so I just want to make a very thin line just at the edge of the white. And then take your beads, you can do this so that it's spilling them everywhere. Take your Q-tip, get a little bit of polish on the end, the clear polish. Just touch them gently into the beads. I get about 5 of them, so. And then try to spin the toothpick to get them to stay. Once they're down, they're pretty easy to move, get in place. It's kind of hard to see, but I get a better camera for this. So again, touch the polish, dip it into the beads, and twist the toothpick to the nail. And very carefully moving the toothpick. Just also can't see that very well, I apologize. But I will post a picture at the end so you can see it. You can also just dip the toothpick in the polish on your nail if you don't want to dip it in the brush every time. Grab a couple beads. Sometimes they do stick to the toothpick, so like I said, you just gotta spin it around and eventually it will come unstuck. And then just push the beads into place. Crappy. They're not too horrible to work with once you get them off the toothpick. They'll actually go where you want to pretty easily. And two, you can also just take like your other fingernail and just kind of gently push along the edge of the white. Get them where you want them. You can also do it this way. Or you can take something like this, like a cuticle pusher, and gently push them into place. So I will finish this. If I can't really see it. polish on it. Dip it into the beads. Can't really see it, but there's about 5 beads on there. The thing with these beads too is they're not all the exact same size. Some of them are slightly smaller, slightly bigger, but you really don't notice unless you're looking really close. Let's twist. Now, if you want to go right to the edge of your nail, that's up to you. I try to leave a little bit of a space because I find I can never quite get the white polish or the clear polish in there very good. So I'm just gonna leave 1 bead's worth of space. There's that. So you want to give the beads a minute to settle. Push them into shape. Make sure they're exactly where you want them. Like so, once they're in a straight line, they're pretty easy to maneuver. And then close this up so I don't spill them. And what I do is I take my clear stuff, I have a good amount, and just, sorry, you can't see that. I just glob a whole bunch gently over the nail like a big drop. Just kind of get them all to stick together. And give that a minute to dry. And then once that's dry, you want to go over it with your clear coat. Try to be gentle so you don't move the beads, but make sure you put a nice thick coat over so that they'll stay in place. Otherwise, you know what I mean, they're just gonna chip off if you hit them. I put 2 coats of top coat on over it to give it some extra strength. But make sure that the first coat is completely dry before you'll do this, otherwise you'll end up with what I have, and I have bubbles along my cuticles because I got too impatient. But if you give it adequate drying time, it should come out perfectly. So I will post a picture at the end. We found this helpful, and if you have any questions or comments, complaints, whatever, just leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.